So signs of divorce in astrology. How can you determine if somebody will be getting a divorce in their life, or if a person will be having a delayed marriage, or if a person is not meant to get married at all? Because even though we have 7 billion people out there, not all 7 billion people are meant to get married. Some die as little as 1 month, some die as old as 120. So you got to always remember, not everybody is meant for marriage, and it's not a bad thing. Okay? Because you might have a greater purpose than just to be involved in this chaotic world of marriage. Okay? So let's start with some basic examples of delay in marriage. Okay? And you have to know a little bit of advanced astrology on this, which talks about houses and signs and degrees. Okay? Houses are pretty much what signs are. Okay? Each sign controls each zodiac sign controls a house. So for example, if there are 12 signs, there's 12 houses. Each house controls an aspect of your life. Okay, so second house in astrology controls your family, your speech, your family business, your family assets. Fourth house is your home life, how your relationship is with everybody in the home. Fifth house is romance, creativity, children, education. Seventh house is marriage. Ninth house is long distance travel, world philosophy, religion. 10th house is career. So things like that. Okay, so delay in marriage in astrology happens when Saturn is ruling the 7th house, Saturn is sitting in the 7th house, or Saturn aspecting the 7th house, because 7th house is obviously marriage or union of a legal union. So Saturn doesn't deny you of marriage. Okay, all Saturn does is delays the marriage. So if you have a Capricorn or Aquarius rising in the 7th house, which pretty much means you have Cancer or Leo ascendant, because directly opposite of them is these two signs. What Saturn does, okay, whether it's his ruling sign or Saturn is looking at this house or sitting in the house, is delays the process of marriage till your midlife. So this is why some people who want to get married at 20, 24, 25, yet they don't, they end up getting married at 35, 40, is because of this reason. There are other factors too, but I'm telling you the most basic one. Because Saturn, what it does, it teaches them lessons that they were supposed to learn in this life, because they have a karmic backlog. And so this is why Saturn takes them to some of the biggest ups and downs in relationship and marriage. It brings them many soulmates, many deep connections, and it just takes them away. Okay, so if people with these kind of placement get married before the age of 32, or 35, they end up getting a divorce, because they're supposed to learn some deep lessons. But what happens is, when Saturn does give these people the partner they need, it gives them a very good, mature partner. Usually these people with the Saturn involvement in the 7th house, they get a very mature partner, whether by age or by maturity of the mind. Okay? So that's one scenario. But again, don't just think of this as is. There could be other factors that even though Saturn might be in the 7th house, person might get early because Jupiter might be looking at that house. Okay, so just don't take my words as is. I'm just giving a very basic scenario. Now, second one we're going to discuss is people who shouldn't get married at all. They're not meant for marriage, and these are the people with South Node in the 7th house, Ketu. Okay, Ketu in the 7th house. Ketu is all about your past life, what you have achieved in the past life, and this life you don't really care about it. So Ketu being in the 7th house says, what, I've experienced marriage, I don't want to be in that whole, I've experienced these things, it's not for me, I can't handle marriage and arguments and all these things, just let me be alone, let me be single. Now, whether you might be single by choice through spirituality, being a spiritual person, like Mother Teresa or somebody, or you can be Charlie Sheen. Somebody completely opposite, like you're a sex maniac, you love women, you're like Hugh Hefner, you just want 10 women instead of one, so that's what the South Node Ketu does. Now, there are other factors that can still save a marriage even though you have Ketu in the 7th house, because what if Jupiter or Venus is sitting with it or aspecting it, through a certain degree, certain constellation and pada and all these things. It gets technical, but the person can still have a long-term marriage. Now, it may not be the most blessed marriage because Ketu is still doing its part. You guys might have constant arguments, constant bickering, but you guys will be like that old married couple, always constantly arguing, but they're together. They can't live with one another. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about a scenario where people might cheat on their partner, and then it might end up in a divorce. Okay, so the signs of your partner cheating is 7th house having the North Node in it. North Node and Mars. What North Node does, it creates an illusion. It's a very falsehood type of planet. So what it does, it creates this illusion that in a person who has Rahu in the 7th house, that hey, I'm the king. I can get anything I want. I want everything that I desire. And when it's in the 7th house, it's about partnership, about the opposite sex. So this person will get a lot of opportunity by God, a lot of temptations that people, either whether men or women, they'll be attracted to this person. And most likely this person will indulge into those behaviors. Once he gets a chance, he will be like, okay, just one time, I'll sleep with this person. And this is why, people with North Node in the 7th house end up having many affairs on their married partners. Unless a positive aspect is on there. Unless a positive planet is sitting there, then it kind of saves those temptations. Another thing is Mars in the 7th house creates a lot of argument in a marriage. And Mars is a very passionate, obsessive planet, besides being a soldier and a fighter. So it creates a situation where either this person will cheat on their partner or their partner will cheat on them. So Mars in the 7th house might give you that kind of luck where you'll run into a partner who might cheat on you. So these are the basic scenarios of somebody who might cheat on their partner. Now, if North Node Rahu and Moon are in conjunction, or North Node Rahu and Venus are in conjunction, then again you have a partner who might cheat on you. These are the significant factors, but there's a lot more detail. I'm just going very quickly, because I have limited time to make a YouTube video. But next we're going to talk about the actual divorce, sign of divorce. Okay. So what is now a significant factor of actual divorce? That means breaking of a union, because marriage is considered union. So there are indications where this combination welcomes a marriage, but then it breaks it. And that combination is Venus being in conjunction with Sun in any house, particularly 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, or 9th house. This combination will always end up in somebody who will end up getting a divorce. Okay, why is it that Sun and Venus conjunction in one house creates a divorce? Simple. Venus is a significant factor of marriage and love. Okay, and Sun is a very hot planet. It is the largest thing out there compared to any other planet in the solar system. So astrologically, when Venus or any other planet comes too close to the Sun, not just in the same house, but close enough, within 6 degrees of the Sun, then all of their positive energy gets evaporated. Okay, so let's say if your Sun is in Leo in 10 degrees, and your Venus is 7 degrees Leo, or maybe 13 degrees Leo, or 5 degrees Leo, it is coming very close to the Sun, and it's being burned. So all the good qualities of Venus are vanishing away. It's there, but it's vanishing away. So what this energy does, it calls for love, that hey, I want love. But because that energy is being evaporated at the same time, it brings a union together and it breaks apart. Okay, usually I've seen this in Venus and Mars as well, but not so much. Venus and Mars actually becomes more passionate and obsessive. But Sun and Venus combination in one house calls for divorce, unless again, there are positive aspects on this combination. So let's say if Jupiter is aspecting this combination of Venus and Sun, then it might save the marriage. Okay. Now, if Sun is in 5 degrees Leo, okay, and Venus is at 25 degrees Leo, that also saves this combination, because even though they're in the same house, they're literally so far apart that Venus is not really being burnt. It's just hot. It's not being burnt by the sun's energy. So these are very important factors that one needs to know about, finding the right partner, finding, just looking at the signs of negativity in a relationship. This is why it's very important to look at your astrological chart and not just your sun sign match or your numerology number match or things like that. It's very important to look at the details of an astrological chart to see if these two people are compatible or not. This is why when you just go on something called love, you have a scenario like we have today, which is over 60% divorce rate just in the United States of America. Now, there are remedies about these things. You can do remedies. You can do homas. You can do yagnas. Okay? And stay away from gemstones as much as you can. Only get them as a last resort, unless only if you have the money, because gemstones are part of a remedy of astrology, but there are far more greater things. One is to just believe in that supreme power. Once you believe in that one supreme power, even the planets can affect you. But you have to be very spiritually connected to that source. Okay? But there's a whole philosophy behind this. Anyway, if you want to know more about this, check out my link below and definitely subscribe, because I'm going to be doing some very creative stuff on astrology that has not been done here. It's going to be coming in 2012 at some point. But check out the link below so you will learn more about astrology. Thank you.